Students, in the last video we studied about exothermic and endothermic processes. I showed you some activities also regarding this. Now see, let us start this rate of chemical reaction. Now before that, use your brain power. What is the difference in the process of dissolution and a chemical reaction? Now see, all processes that involve the interaction of atoms are chemical. Dissolving salt in water is a chemical reaction. Now what happens is, salt dissolves in water. Now sodium chloride, that is the common salt, when it dissolves, when you put it in water, it gets dissociated into sodium ions and chloride ions. So here chemical reaction has taken place. But what happens when sugar dissolves in water? Okay, it is going to divide, that is in the it's going to divide the uniformly everywhere in the water. Even processes as simple as changes in phase, that is solid to liquid and liquid to gas. Does a new substance form when a solute dissolves in a solvent? See, the component which dissolves completely in another component's aqueous solution is called as solute. Whenever a solute dissolves in a solvent, it alters the chemical properties of the solvent. Hence, from this process, we can conclude that a new substance is formed when solute dissolves in the solvent. Now, a sodium chloride and water example I have given you. Now, here sodium chloride is the solute and water is the solvent. So, what is going to happen when it is going to dissolve in this aqueous solution? Okay, yes, the solute is going to dissolve completely and therefore it is going to alter the chemical properties of the solvent. Okay, now see rate of chemical reaction. Take into account the time required for following processes, classify them into two groups and give titles to the groups. Now see, let us see what is given below. Now cooking gas starts burning on ignition. Now what you have to do over here in this 6 sentences, see, they have given you, okay, the groups, okay, and that is you will have to classify. These processes are given 6 processes are given and you are going to take into account the time required for this processes to take place. Now see, cooking gas starts burning on ignition. Iron article undergoes rusting. Erosion of rocks takes place to form soil. Alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper condition. Effervescence is formed on adding baking soda into a test tube containing dilute acid. A white precipitate is formed on adding dilute sulfuric acid to barium chloride solution. Now some of the activities I have shown you. Now see, now you after seeing this processes, you will have to classify them into two groups. Now what did you come to know when you read this? See, some processes, okay, given below, among this some of the processes are taking place very fast and some of them are taking place very slowly, isn't it? So you can divide them, okay, as reactions completed in short time and reactions requiring long time for completion. Now see, cooking gas starts burning on ignition. This is a very fast process, it occurs rapidly, isn't it? So short time is required for this. Iron article undergoes rusting. This is going to take long time. Immediately it's not going to take place, right? Slowly rusting takes place. Erosion of rocks takes place to form soil. Yes. So the erosion also takes place slowly. It doesn't occur very fast. Alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper conditions. Yes, of course, this takes place fast. Effervescence is required is formed on adding baking soda into a test tube containing dilute acid. This also takes place fast. A white precipitate is formed on adding dilute sulfuric acid to barium chloride solution. So this reaction is also fast. Means what? This requires short time. So it can be seen from the above examples that some reactions are completed in short time, that is occur rapidly, while some other require long time for completion, that is occurs slowly. It means that the rate of different reactions is going to be different. So the above processes, from this above processes you have come to know that some reactions they complete in short time and some reactions they take long time for completion. So the rate of reaction is going to be different for different processes. The same reaction, okay, yes, occurs at a different rate on changing the conditions. For example, during winter, long time is required for setting milk into curd, while at the higher temperature during summer, the rate of setting of milk increases and the curd is formed early. Now see, example is at your home itself. Now you take curds, okay, you take milk and you set it into curd. Now see, in winter season what happens? The time required for setting the curds is going to be long, isn't it? But same milk, okay, to convert it into curds, okay, in summer season, that is the time required is very less. In short time, the milk is set into curds, right? Yes. So see, now let us see the factors which decide the rate of chemical reactions. There are some factors, okay, so which is going to decide the rate of chemical reactions. Now these factors, okay, will that is how fast the reaction can take place or how slow the reaction can take place. The factors given below are going to decide. Now see, which are the factors which are affecting the rate of chemical reaction. The first one, nature of the reactants, okay. Then second is size of the particles of reactants. Then concentration of the reactants and temperature of the reaction. Yes. Then catalyst. Yes. So 5 factors are going to decide the rate of chemical reaction. So which are those? Very important. See, nature of the reactant, okay, size of the particles of reactants, concentration of the reactants, then temperature of the reaction, and the last one is the catalyst. Okay, so these 5 factors are going to decide the rate of chemical reaction. Now see, nature of the reactants. So let us see the reaction of the metals aluminium and zinc with dilute sulfuric acid. Okay, you take the see, let us consider the reaction of the metals, okay, aluminium and zinc, okay, with dilute sulfuric acid. On reaction of both aluminium and zinc with dilute hydrochloric acid, okay, hydrogen gas is liberated and water soluble salts of these metals are formed. However, the reaction of aluminium metal takes place faster as compared to zinc metal. The nature of the metal is responsible for this difference. Aluminium is more reactive than zinc. Now see, you are going to take two metals, aluminium and zinc, and what you are going to do? Yes, you are going to see how fast the reaction is going to take place when you add dilute hydrochloric acid to each of them. Now see, the reaction of aluminium with hydrochloric acid is going to be fast. In both the cases, what is going to happen? Hydrogen gas is going to be liberated, okay, and salts are formed. Respective salts are formed. So that is the aluminium chloride and zinc chloride salt is formed. Hydrogen gas is liberated in both the cases. But what is going to happen is the reaction of aluminum metal is going to take place faster when you compare it with zinc. Okay. So what is making this difference? Why the reaction is taking place? The material. Okay. The nature of the metal is going to that be responsible for this difference. Aluminium, you know, it is more reactive metal than zinc, isn't it? Aluminium is more reactive than zinc. Therefore, the rate of reaction of aluminium with hydrochloric acid is higher than that of zinc. So, what is going to happen over here? See, aluminium and zinc with dilute hydrochloric acid you are going to see. So, what is going to happen in both the cases? See, I'll show you. Wait, see, in both the cases, okay, hydrogen gas is liberated and their respective salts are formed. Okay, in both the cases, aluminum chloride and zinc chloride is formed. In both the cases, hydrogen gas is liberated. But what is going to happen? See, aluminum is more reactive than zinc. Okay, so the reaction of aluminium with hydrochloric acid is going to be fast when you compare it with zinc. Okay, so the nature or that is nature of the reactant is going to decide, okay, the rate of the reaction. So we are going to learn more about the reactivity of metals in which chapter? In metallurgy chapter. Yes, okay. Now the next one is the size of the particles of reactants. Now see, the apparatus required for this is two test tubes. Okay, so what you require? You require two test tubes, you require a balance, you require measuring cylinder. Chemicals you require is, yes, pieces of Shahabadi tiles, okay, yes, powder of Shahabad tile and dilute hydrochloric acid. Now what you are going to do is, you are going to take pieces and powder of Shahabad tile in equal weights in two test tubes. You are going to take two test tubes. In one of the test tube you are going to take pieces. In the other test tube you are going to take powder, okay, of what? Of Shahabad tile. You are going to add 10 ml, okay, of dilute hydrochloric acid in both the test tubes. So in one test tube you have taken pieces and other test tube you have taken powder. In both the test tubes you are going to add dilute hydrochloric acid. Then observe whether effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed at a faster or slower speed. Okay. So you are going to, when you add hydrochloric acid, you are going to observe whether the effervescence of carbon dioxide is formed and how fast or how slow it is formed in both the test tube. So you must have found in the above activity that carbon dioxide effervescence is formed slowly with pieces. Okay, in pieces you will find it slowly, but in powdered form it is going to be faster. Okay, yes, with a fast speed. So the above observation, okay, indicates that the rate of reaction depends upon the size of the particles taking part in the reaction. So this above observation, okay, the piece and the powder, okay, when you add hydrochloric acid to the pieces and to the powder of Shahabadi tile, what is going to happen? The effervescence is going to be fast in the powdered form and a little slower in the pieces form. So from this observation, what it is going to indicate? That the rate of the reaction is going to depend upon the size of the particles of the reactants taking part in the reaction. So smaller the size of the reactant particles, higher is the rate of reaction. Yes, so how much smaller the particles are going to be, the reaction is going to be more faster in those cases. So the factors, today we have studied about the factors, two factors. Which are these two factors? Nature of the reactant and size of the particles of reaction. So in the next video, let us study about the concentration of the reactants, temperature of the reaction and catalyst. So let us proceed, okay, in the next video.